Hey, welcome back to Mary Expressions, a channel where I take the time to share a little bit of myself with you all, and I invite you all to come on in and do the same with me. All right, y'all. Y'all know what I'm going to do or say. Hit that thumbs up for me, hit subscribe if you have not already, and let me know how you are doing. Like, I have missed you guys. I know I have not been in action. But last week just hit me really hard. It was just one thing after another. And not to say they were all bad things. They really were not. I took a class for I took a Christian education class that lasted all week. And so that pretty much took up my evenings. And then there was homework and group assignments. And then my goddaughter had prom, so I had to be on prom duties. And then the most exciting news of all, y'all know my son is special needs. He's total care. He's not able to speak or walk at this time, but he received his communication device. So I was so really excited about that, and we were just trying to get that set up and configured and try to learn it so that I can help him learn how to use it. So yeah, last week was just a lot. And so I missed last week's episode. And I'm not gonna even lie, y'all. I did not go back and watch it. So just because this season is not giving what it's supposed to be giving. And so I just did not feel compelled to go back and watch it. So we're just going to skip that review and we're going to hop on over to this week's episode, season 16, episode 15, Whiskey a No No. All right. So this is the episode where we see Devon Franklin finally. I was just like, we get no experts majority of the season. And now that it's all down to the wire, all of a sudden we are bombarded with experts. Like we saw Dr. Pepper not too long ago. Then there was Dr. Pia. I think she was the last episode that I did not watch. And now it's Devon Franklin. And then as we see later on, some of the other experts show up. So I'm just like, why all of a sudden when it's down to the wire? Y'all want to pop up? Why not try to help these people in the beginning stages as well? You know what I'm saying? So anyway, it's 12 days until decision day. Jasmine and Aries, they get their visit first. So Devon comes in. He's meeting with Jasmine by herself, y'all. So he brings up how she had a breakthrough with the ladies. So apparently last week, like I said, I didn't watch it, but I was just doing through context clues. I may go back and watch it, but at this point I have not. Did not feel compelled to. So apparently she had some kind of breakthrough with the ladies last night last week when they met. So apparently the ladies did something and the men did something. And so, yeah. And so Jasmine was just like, yeah, she did. She normally sweeps things under the rug, but she had just kind of reached her breaking point when she was with the ladies. And so he told her that sweeping things under the rug is just going to pile up and then eventually it's going to overflow. It's going to be seen one way or the other. So it's just like, why not go on handle things on the front end? And so he told her that being transparent with the ladies was good because transparency leads to transformation. And I love that. Transparency leads to transformation. Like, I need to make that an affirmation. Transparency leads to transformation. Sorry, y'all. I'm writing that down. I really like that. I'm into affirmations, y'all. Transparency leads to transformation. Okay. Anyway, sorry. So anyway, he ends up asking her if she thinks that the things she expressed with the ladies are things that she has expressed to Aries as well. And so she was just like, no. And but that she knows how she feels, which is that basically she thinks that they can work, but she knows that he doesn't feel that way. or so she thinks that he doesn't feel that way. And so Devon said it's not her job to figure out how he feels, but to communicate her wants. And I kind of agree with him on that. Like, it's not your job to figure out how somebody else feels. They need to be able to communicate. Like, that's why to me, communication is one of the main things in a relationship. And that's just like any type of relationship, not just a romantic relationship. And so, but it's definitely one of the key things. And so, but in it, like he's telling her that Aries has to communicate to her just like she needs to be communicating to him, is basically what he's saying. So then the conversation shifts to when he called himself getting deep with her, when Aries did. And so she was just like, yeah, he was sharing all this stuff about his friend passed away, da 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 da. She was just like, but I didn't share anything back because I haven't experienced anything like that. I haven't experienced trauma in my life, you know. So Devon wants to know, well, what type of challenges have you experienced, right? And so she talks about how she was bullied in middle school for about 3 years, like that 3 years straight. She was just like she had been bullied because she was too proper, too put together. I say it sounds like all the things that Felina, their cousin, likes to say about her. You know what I'm saying? And so I was just like, I wonder if that brings up stuff for Jasmine, like how the cousin treats her, because that's kind of like exactly what she's saying here. The cousin always says she's too proper. The cousin says she's too put together. You know, she's answered too pageantry. You know, so I wonder, does that bring up anything for her? So anyway, Jasmine said, you know, it put her in a deep dark space because the bullying lasted for about 3 years. And even in that 3 years, though, she never told her family that she was being bullied at school. And because for her, everything at home was peaches and cream, you know. And so even then, like he pointed out, she was uh hold on. Even then, yeah, she was what am I trying to say? Oh, sweeping things under the rug because she never told her parents. And I wonder why she didn't feel comfortable telling her parents. Like, did she not want to shatter that picture perfect, idealistic home that they had, you know? Or, like, I don't know. Like, what was her reason for not letting her parents know what she was experiencing at school? Like, did she feel like she not have a voice in the family? Like, what was it? You know, I don't know. You know, it could have been like she said, everything was just so peaches and cream, and then also she said she never saw her parents have conflict. You know, I know they did. That's just a natural thing, but they probably just handled it behind closed doors. So with that, again, maybe she just didn't want to shatter that picture. Like everything really isn't always okay, but I think that's important to let people know everything isn't. You're gonna face trials and tribulations in life. You know what I'm saying? But anyways, so yeah, she never told her parents, and so he points out, you know, this is just your pattern. You sweep things under the rug. And so she says she's afraid to tell Aries what's the real because she doesn't know how he will respond. She's afraid of what his response will be. And so he said, you may get the response that you don't want, but it's not an indictment on Jasmine. Like, you would have to still know that you are an amazing woman. And so it's not about you, what he says, basically, you know. And like he said, it's better to know the truth than to live in a fantasy. And I totally agree with him on that. So her goal for the day is to muster up the courage to talk to Aries and speak her truth. Right? So over with Nicole and Chris. Chris wants to know from Nicole ways he can improve in their marriage. Like, are there things I should be doing that I'm not doing? And so she says, well, when I asked you for a long time, it's because I need it in that moment. But I don't really want you to do that. Say what now? So Chris is like, that's confusing. And it is, because I'm sitting here like, what? And so she tries to break it down further, talking about, well, if it's something, if I ask you for space, I need it. But if I go in the bedroom by myself to try to process, just ask me to sit in the living room with you, because it may be easier to process. Honey, can we say pineapples right now? It's how they used to say for her. Because, baby, you are still confusing. Like, shit, do you want to be alone or do you not want to be alone? Like, what is it? Because if you say you want to be alone, I'm giving you your space. Like, what the hell? Like, if you go by yourself, that tells me you need your space. And I'm going to let you have your space. I'm just like, girl, that is foolishness. Foolishness. So, anyway, her rationale for that is that she's afraid that her crazy will run him away. And I'm using that term lightly because she didn't say crazy, but she was just basically like all the stuff she got going on with her. Basically, is she feels like it's gonna run him away. And so, Chris was just like, he's not going to leave her. And she said she knows that, but like deep down, there's like, it's just not there yet. It's not registering deep down. And so she needs that validation from him, is what she's basically saying. And then she kind of got a little sassy with him and told him, if he's not with it, there's the door. I said, oh, okay. That's what we doing now, Nicole. You talking all this crazy, like, if I need my space, give me my space. But if I need my space to just go to a room, then I need you to, girl. But if you don't like it, there's the door. Girl, shut up. It's so... Anyway, he basically, I gotta give it to him, because y'all know I be on Chris, like, he just don't seem like he be doing the same thing she be doing. Like, so anyway, he was just basically saying that he's not gonna push her away, and he doesn't want her to pull away either. And I think that's kind of what she's doing. Like, I feel like it's kind of like a self-sabotage, like it's like too good to be true type of thing. So anyway, yeah, that was pretty much that on that. So we end up seeing Kirsten trying to work out, baby. She wasn't doing nothing. And Kirsten, as thick as she is, baby, she got a body on her. That thing is thinking, but baby, you don't work out. We know you don't. But anyway, she kills mom, ends up calling her in the middle of her workout. So Kirsten tells her that he's stressed out and overwhelmed, and she wants to know how she could be there for him during these times. So it kind of made me see, it kind of maybe led me to believe that maybe she had called his mom and the mom was calling him back, because it seemed like it was a conversation she wanted to have with the mom. But anyway, mama tells her that Kirsten needs to be more supportive, and she tells her that he is hurt and she didn't go with him to Memphis. And Kirsten was just like, well, she's apologized for all of that. It was like just a miscommunication thing. And she said she's been sitting her affirmations because she knows he likes it. Girl, like, you should be doing that anyway, not just because you are like he's upset with you. Like, see your man affirmations all the time. Y'all just see I wrote that affirmation down because I love affirmations, and I love to pour them to those that I love. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, so mama was like this here, like, I don't know what's going on between the two of y'all, but she said it wasn't all of that what Kirsten was talking about. Mom said, I need you to support him. That's number one. And I'm just like, Kirsten, she held it together, because I can't say I will have like the way the mama was coming at her, like, you need to this, you need to that, because marriage is a two-way. And just personally anyway, I don't think mama should be in the business, because you'll never be able to get her out of it. Like, however long that marriage lasts, mama gonna be in the mix. And they just shouldn't be. Not to me. That's just my 2 cents. But anyway, I ain't married or nothing. I'm just saying that's how I would not want my mother-in-law or my mother in my business, between me and my mate. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, we see Clint cooking dinner for him and Gina or whatever. So can I just insert? I have noticed, I don't know if y'all have either, that every time we see these people in their apartments, their respective apartments, there are always fresh flowers on the sink. Like, no matter what, y'all watching this, that peep that out, I guess I know it's because I'm a fresh flower person. Like, I love fresh cut flowers. I keep them in my home all the time. Like, I keep a vase on my kitchen table full of flowers, and I either get them from the store or I cut them from my garden. So I'm a fresh cut flower type of lady, which is probably why I noticed this. But I know that's not everybody cup of tea. And so I just think it's staged, because you can't tell me they just decide, everyone just decides they're gonna keep fresh flowers. But anyway, just something I noticed. I digress, y'all. I like to talk a little bit. But anyway, uh so yeah, dinner's being cooked. So Clint says he loves cooking for the people he care about, and they end up just going out on a balcony. That food look good too. Made me want to catfish po' boy. But anyway, so they're just talking and eating. So Gina didn't have much to say other than she hopes they can use whatever time they have left until decision day very wisely. I said, girl, stop acting, because you are not holding out some real hope. Like, you just are not. I saw that snippet of her from last week with Dr. Pia came to talk to the two of them about intimacy, and she was basically like, ugh, like a child does. Like a child does with somebody they think got the cooties. You know what I'm saying? Like, so you responded to that about just having intimacy, because even intimacy does not necessarily mean sex. Like, baby, you are not holding down no hope. Girl, get on. Get on. Goodbye. So Devon is talking to Aries now by himself. Straight up out the gate, he brings up like the physical attraction thing. So Aries said that that's their number one hurdle. And Devon wants to know, well, what do you find appealing about her? And he brings up her passion with working her jobs, like how she works with the children. She has her breeding. She does breeding, dog breeding, and I like her calming presence, her calming personality. So Devon said, well, don't you know that appealing is just another word for attractive. So he asks Aries, like, do you want to become more attractive to her, right? And so his bug gonna say he does, but there are things you just can't change about yourself, like your height, how tall you are. So basically what you're saying, you don't like her and you just never will. Like, that's not something you can change about yourself. So anyway, Devon talks to him about his job, and pretty much the same effort he puts into his job is the same effort he should be putting into his marriage. Eric said it's not the same for him, because if he loses his jobs, that affects a lot of things, like a place to stay, having food on the table, being able to provide, But, he was just like, if his marriage doesn't work out, it's pretty much on to the next, basically. His life will keep going. And he said his life was fine before this experiment as well. And I'm just like, why did you agree to this process then? Like, if you were so fine, why come? You obviously felt like you were missing something. So he did mention wanting to have a wife and children, like he wants a family. So Devon points out that he has everything he's want, but he's just not putting in the effort. So he admits that he's not doing as much as he could. And so Devon asks, well, what would need to happen? What would need to happen for you to get there? And yeah, he says, what would need to happen for you to get there? And he says, well, a deeper connection and communication. So he wants Aries to verbalize to Jasmine his commitment to her. Otherwise, he feels like he's going to have regrets come decision day. So basically, he's advised both of them. They need to be talking to each other about what's what. You know what I'm saying? So 11 days until decision day. The couples go whiskey tasting and line dances, like the country line dances. I don't want to know what you really call that. Scoop, boogie, and boo. Whatever. I don't know. So Aries wants to know with the ladies. They're sitting around the table now, drinking their whiskey. And he wants to know what the ladies talked about when they got together the other day. So Jasmine talks about the breakdown that she had with the ladies, and she said that she was in a place where she just could no longer be strong anymore. And so Nicole, Nicole, who we have peeped out that she has deemed herself as the other expert, she steps in. And she steps in to give her 2 cents. Now, this is my thing. Like, I see that the way that Married at First Sight breaks it down and does things now, because it's a lot different from like season 1, and they do that so the couples can lean on each other and da 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 and discuss things. But this is the thing, like, y'all are all in this situation, and I don't necessarily think one person is better than the other or more knowledgeable when it comes to a marriage, because this is something new that's for all of them. You know, they're all trying to navigate being married, right? But it just seems like every time they get together, Nicole kind of is just like that person that kind of guides and not to say, what am I trying to say? I don't know. She just comes across like she knows what she's talking about and she's an expert. Now, I love Nicole and how she likes to point to people and build them up and encourage them. But like she tells these people, you should be, like, she, as if she just knows, like, you're not even confident in your own self, so I don't feel like you're in a place to tell somebody else what they need to be doing or what they should be doing, and you're not in a place your own self where you're strong and confident and rooted, and you know what I'm saying. So in your own marriage, that's just kind of how I feel. But anyway, so she tells Aries that he needs to step it up, basically, and Jasmine needs to try harder, basically. And so Jasmine, she also tells Jasmine that she needs to have the conversations that need to be had, because being vulnerable makes you stronger, So the conversation ends up kind of switching up to holding on to stuff, and how when you do, you can blow up, And so, they even get into like mental health issues, and I think it was Clint mentioned somebody, Chris mentioned somebody that they both knew dealing with mental health issues. And I guess what they were trying to say is they held so much in versus expressing it, getting help, and then they took their own lives, whatever. So Shaq ends up admitting to being that person. So I'm kind of thinking, because he brought up how he's had his own demons, and he said that earlier in the season. So I'm kind of wondering if he got to a place where he was feeling very depressed and maybe like he no longer wanted to live or had anything to live for. But anyway, he didn't go into all of that. He just kind of admits that he has been that person. And he said that, everything looks good on the outside, but on the inside, he was just full of turmoil. And so he was pretty much like, does anybody really see me? He did say he went to therapy for help. And so Nicole thanks Shaquille for sharing, and she tells him to utilize his resources, which is his wife, because she knows that Kirsten's gonna be there, and she's like, I'm speaking for her, but I know she's gonna be there and she loves you, da da da. And so Kirsten was just like, sure. She had that little smile plastered on her face, and she just, sure. And I think that now Shaquille took that sure to kind of like, because it was just like a low, like kind of like, okay, sure, And I think he kind of took that personally, like a jab towards him, like maybe she doesn't really mean it. She's just kind of saying it in front of everybody since she was put on the spot. But personally, I kind of think there was maybe the attitude that Kirsten was giving out wasn't towards Shaquille so much as it was towards Nicole. Like, for speaking up for me. Like, I got my own voice and I can say what I feel, And I kind of think it was that kind of thing, because I probably would have been the same way. Like, girl, you don't need to tell me what I need to be doing and what I'm going to do for my husband. We got this. So that's kind of how I took that. But Shaquille took it differently. So he looked at her and they get up. He gets up, walk away. And so she goes after him or whatever, right? And so he said, he wasn't okay with her not having anything to say after the comment that Nicole made or whatever. And so, hold on, yeah. And so, yeah, he said he wasn't okay with that. And so she was just like, he said, no, another wife had to speak on your behalf and you had nothing to say. And she said, I didn't have an opportunity to say anything. And I agree. Like, Nicole just went on and on and on and telling Shaquille what Kirsten gonna do, this, that, and the other. And it was just like, when was I supposed to say something? After she said something? After she done said what she done said? So that's why I kind of feel like that sure was maybe more so towards Nicole than it was Shaquille. But anyway, she goes on to say, well, I was kind of trying to let you know, like I was rubbing your back, had my hand on your leg, like I don't want you to ever feel alone. So it seems like he started to allude to the whole trip that she didn't go on with him to Memphis or whatever. And he didn't come out and say that, but it was just like the things he was saying, it was like in a roundabout way that he was referencing that. So she was like, just because I'm not physically right beside you doesn't mean that I'm not there. He said, but I want you right beside me. It's not a want anymore. It's a need. And I knew then, like, he done got, like, I knew then he got the goods. Like, before he even announced it, it was just like the way he was acting. Like, once he got them goods. Talking about it ain't a want, it's a need. Now he around here pounding like a baby because she ain't go nowhere. She ain't go to Memphis with him. And so this is what I said, Shaquille, you are sounding like a 3-year-old throwing a temper tantrum for his mommy. Like, having a separation anxiety, like it's giving really codependency vibes. Listen, I dated somebody like that, y'all. I did. And it was like I could not breathe. It was just overwhelming. I could not stand it. Like, we are two separate individuals. So anyway, he lets her know that while in Memphis he found out that, he wasn't going to be graduating on time or whatever. And so his thing is he needed her in that moment. So he's really upset about that, but deflecting it to her because she wasn't there in that moment. He really is in his feelings. So I think a lot of things are going on. He was upset about not graduating. And so being upset about that now causes him to be upset at Kirsten because she wasn't there. He done got the poo nanny and he upset about that and he don't want to let it go. And Baby. So yeah. Anyway, Kirsten Kirsten said, she's sorry for not being there and going forward that she was doing better, baby, because he is pouting. Do you hear me? Pout. Even a kiss. I said, oh, okay. Like, baby, no. So Shaquille's still going on, on, even though Kirsten has apologized, said she's going to do better, he's still going on. Kirsten's just like, baby, I felt you on that one. I feel your frustration on that one, because that would have definitely been me. But yeah, she's pretty much like, what more can I say? I've already apologized. I've already acknowledged your feelings. I've already said moving forward, I would have a different action. Like, oh, child, I would just be wanting to pull all of my hair out at that moment, because he was just going on and on. So anyway, they all get back to the table, right? Kirsten and Shaquille made it back, and so everybody's like, what's up? Everything good? And so, Kirsten, she puts on her pageantry, as their cousin Felina would say, voice, and she just gives the PC answer that, there was confusion about him wanting me to attend his work events, but now that I know he wants me there, I'm going to put them on my calendar so that I won't plan anything over them and I can be in attendance. Then she gives him like this loving little smile, and y'all know how she gonna put it on now. She gonna put it on. That's one thing I'm gonna say about her. So Gina asked Kirsten, but what do you need? So she just said she needs for Shaquille to be assertive and to tell her what he needs from her. And so Aries, oh y'all, his old crazy butt was like, well, what if he says, pack your ish up, you going? I think he said a few more colorful words, but yeah. And Kirsten said, well, that's very direct, and I did tell him I need a direct statement. So pretty much, she down for the get down for him talking like that, roughing her up a little bit, pretty much. And so, Jasmine is like, oh no, here go Aries, when she said that. Well, Shaquille, you might want to try that next time. I said, oh my goodness, Aries, shut your butt up. So anyway, the ladies end up bringing up their girls' night again, right? And so Jasmine is like, Shaquille, all she needs is some candles and some music and some foreplay, and she gonna be ready to give up the goods, right? So Aries says, so what base are y'all on? So Shaquille and Kirsten kind of look at each other, and Kirsten was just like, well, we're somewhere between second, still in third, trying to get a home run. So these two fools just looking at each other, right? While the other couples are yelling to them, yelling to Shaquille, like, be assertive, take the initiative. And Shaquille finally asked her, well, have I taken the initiative? And she said, I said be assertive. And he gonna say, well, Kirsten and I have consummated our marriage. Y'all would have thought they was at a basketball game. The score is tied, and there's 1 second left on the clock, and somebody hit a 3-pointer, and it went in. Baby, the way that whole table erupted in cheers, and they dapping him, and I said, oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. And here go Clint talking about Shaquille and Kirsten went to Pound Town. Clint. Y'all, why did Shaquille say it like it was an accomplishment too? Like he had his chest out, his little head up, like, yeah, I did it. Yeah, I'm the man. I'm that dude. You know what I'm saying? It was a mess. Like he was coming home with the honor roll, talking about, so look, mama, I did it, baby. So anyway, he said, they pretty much had wanted to keep things between the two of them as long as they could, but so like I said, that's the real reason he don't want to be apart from the dads, because he done got son there, and then he done got whipped. He done got a little whip. So they then get up to do the little line dancer part of it, and Like I said, it ain't nothing like what we probably think of as line dancing, like the electric slide, the bunny hop, you know, you know, it's some country stuff. So anyway, they doing it or whatever. They got them a little instructor. And so, after they do the line dancing, though, they're just all dancing. They're just all on the dance floor dancing, regular dancing, like you would do, like if you just up in a club or whatever, right? So we see Aries dancing with the instructor. Now the instructor did come to get him and pull him out on the floor, but they dancing. They ain't doing no line dancing. They are dancing, like together dancing. So Jasmine standing on the sidelines and she's just like, I'm over it. I'm done. And she walks out. She's like, how you gonna dance with the instructor and not your wife? And she was just like, pretty much, it's like a slap in the face. So Aries finally get up and go after him. And I'm thinking they must have told him, because I was thinking production must have told him to go after her, because to be honest, when she first walked out, we could see him still dancing on the floor with that darn instructor. Right? So he come on now talking about he's sorry, he apologizing that the lady was showing him a dance, how to line dance, because he was the worst dancer. Now y'all, mind you, like I said, at this point, the line dancer was over with. They were just dancing like they were at the club. And the instructor part of it all was over with. And pretty much it didn't even look like you were struggling when y'all was doing the line dancing anyway. So Aries, you full of ish. You're full of ish. He spinning her around and all that. Like, that is not no line dancing. And you didn't look like you were struggling. So anyway, I'm just saying, is that not what y'all saw? Is that not what y'all saw? Did y'all see her teaching him a line dance, or were they danced and he was spinning her around? Did it look like he was struggling to you? Not to me. But anyway, he talking about he can understand how Jasmine is feeling, why it looked as bad as it did. Jasmine said, but you literally did not have to dance with her. So they end up, she pissed, and I'm glad she's actually expressing it. So they end up leaving from the group or whatever. And so apparently she made that ass sleep on the couch too. So baby, later on, about 2 a.m, we get one of the camera views from the apartment, and we see Aries but sleeping on that couch. So the next day, Dr. Pepper comes to visit them. Dr. Pepper is like, what's been up within the last 24 hours going on or whatever. And so Jasmine brings up what happened when they were at the little whiskey place. And so she said that it triggered her and that she is no longer in a place where she is hiding her feelings. And I said, good for you, girl. Good for you. Aries said he gets where she is, but after reflecting, the storm out that she did made it like a sin. I said, okay, Aries, I see what you're trying to do. So your old Lego shaped ass wants to deflect. You want to put it on her like she did it wrong. Like, let's take the attention off of my actions, but put it on her actions. So you storming out made a big scene. I said, honey, it couldn't have been too much a scene, because you didn't even know that she was gone when she walked out. Your butt was still on that floor dancing with that instructor lady, swirling her around and ish on their floor. So anyway, Dr. Pepper said, well, we are not here to tread water. If there is no more hope, let me know now. I said, Dr. Pepper did not come to play, baby. She was just like, well, look, let me know now. We ain't treading water. We not going to play nice in the sandbox. If it's over, let me know. So she asked, do you want to be in this marriage? He says, I see a possibility. Y'all, when he said that, my heart dropped, because it was like, this all Jasmine wanted to hear. And she started cheesing from ear to ear. Like, Jasmine, baby, you are not a possibility. You are not. You are not. You want somebody, you want to be with somebody that says, this is a sure thing, not a possibility. You are not a possibility, boo. So, anyway, I was just like, girl, that was your out. That was your out. Like, get out. So, he said that she cheesing. She said she's reassured now. And so Dr. Pepper wants to know what Jasmine needs to feel more wifely. So she brings up how if she doesn't text him, she will not hear from him throughout the day. So Dr. Pepper tells this man to set up some alarms on his phone as reminders to reach out to Jasmine. Where they do that at? Where? That's a bit much, y'all. If you need that much prompting to reach out to me, I don't want it. Because I know in this experiment, I would have crossed your mind in some shape, form, or fashion throughout the day, whether good or bad. And if you didn't feel the need to reach out to me then say that. I don't want it. So Dr. Pepper is like, well, what do you do when she comes home, like when she walks through the door? I said, what's up? She said, well, how about we try like a peck on the cheek? Yeah, they couldn't even do that. They decided, well, they'll start hugging. What is a peck on the cheek going to hurt? And I think he was the one that suggested a hug. And she was like, okay, we can hug. You're settling, Jasmine. You're settling. You are not a possibility, boo. And you are not an option. Get out. So then we see Nicole and Kirsten. They go lingerie shopping. Right. Nicole is trying to find some that she can wear for Chris. She said, this isn't her thing because she doesn't think her body is built for it. Baby, your body is fine. You are hot. You know what I'm saying? So they go, they try on something, and she comes out. Looks good to me, boo. And I was just thinking, like, even with all her insecurity, girl, like, you chose to come out on national TV. Like, you shared this on national TV. And for everybody to see you in lingerie, girl, you are fine. You are beautiful. Like, on that. There is nothing wrong with you, but I do want to applaud your courage to not only just try it on, because you said it wasn't your thing, but try on and come out for the camera. So, girl, you go. You go, girl. So Kristen tries to give her, some tips on how to be sexy, like the little sexy walk and how to undress herself. So, it was just a cute moment for them together. But like I said, I did appreciate the confidence booster that Kirsten gave her or just served to Nicole in that moment. Like, it was cool. That was cool. So Dr. Pepper is sitting with Gina and Clint, right? She tells them that they need to up their game, basically. Like I said, Dr. Pepper said she is not missing words. She did not come to play with these folks. I'm like, see, Dr. Pepper, this is what they needed early on. They need to know y'all ain't here to play. This is really things y'all need to be working on. Like, let's get this train moving. But anyway, it didn't happen. So Gina said that they've been working on that, but that they still feel friend zone. And she said, well, ask each other what you would like from one another. And so Gina said that that's challenging because she doesn't even know what she needs. And she said this experiment has shown her that maybe she can be too independent to a fault. And I can get that, especially with them being an older couple. Like, I sometimes worry, like I said, I'm not married. Would I like to be married? Absolutely. But that's also something I worry about, like, because I've been independent for so long, and not just for myself now, anymore, but it's like myself and my son. So it's going to be hard. It's going to be a big adjustment for me to allow somebody else to come in and share responsibilities, giving up the reins, so I can get her on that. You know what I'm saying? And when she says she's probably independent to a fault. So Gina said that she needs affirmations, and Clint said that it could be anything as long as it's along the lines where there was some time devoted to it. You know what I'm saying? So that's all he said he needs. So Dr. Pepper brings up movies that show like love and devotion, like Driving Miss Daisy, and she was just like, it don't have to be a romantic thing. Basically, she was trying to point that out, like it just be a deep friendship, and because she said that that requires love too. Because I think at the beginning of their conversation, that's what when Gina and Clint was like, well, they're in this friend zone. And Dr. Pepper was pointing out, like, well, friendship is love too. You know what I'm saying? Basically. So, yeah. So she suggested Driving Miss Daisy, y'all. But anyway, honey. So she has them hold hands and asks, like, what's the one thing you want to say that you haven't said? And so Gina kind of speaks to how Clint is a good doggy dad or whatever, and how she's very appreciative. Like she does go into details, like how he walks her, feeds the dog, does this, that, and the other for the dog. But you know, it is what it is. So he kind of just speaks to her bravery and her entrepreneurship spirit and all that. So over with Kirsten and Shaquille, they're meeting with Devon, right? And immediately the Memphis trip comes up and how she didn't go on it. So Devon asked Shaquille, well, does he feel supported in the marriage? And he says sometimes. And so Devon said that either that's a yes or no. It ain't no sometimes. So Shaquille ends up saying no, he doesn't feel supported. So Devon asked Kirsten, well, does she feel like she gives support? And she said yeah. And so Devon points out that unspoken expectations are killers. Unspoken expectations are killers. Like, because you might have this expectation, your partner's not doing it, and so resentment gets built from that. And so Shaquille was just like, well, he asked him, well, Shaquille, what does support look like to you? And so Shaquille says, I want to see you seeing me in my element. I want you to see me in my zone of what I love to do. Like, it's not about showing you off, it's just about you seeing my love, my excitement. And I said, now y'all, this is what I really think. The fact that he said it's not about showing you off. Yep, that's what it's about. Show her off. That's exactly what it's about. Cause baby, Shakira probably feels like he's never had somebody of her quality, and it's never he is no expectation that he would ever pull somebody of her quality. And so the fact that he can have this on his own, baby, and he banged in there, oh, he ready to show it out. And then I heard somebody say that this was the weekend that he came to Memphis was the weekend of the Southern Heritage Classic. Y'all, now I'm from Memphis. I'm gonna tell you, we only have two really big weekends like that out of the year. That is our Memphis in May Music Fest and the Southern Heritage Classic. Those are two major weekends that bring in so many different people. Like, people just flock to Memphis, and it's just a big thing. It's like the scene in Memphis is just lit the entire weekend. So baby, you can't tell me he did not want that on his arm to show her off. That's all I'm gonna say. So it wasn't just not about seeing you in your element. Like, she probably does that. She can see you in your element at home. She saw you in your element when y'all went to Jackson before that honeymoon. Like, yeah, I think he wants to show her off. I think he wants to show her off and be like, "Yep, this my wife. I got this, and I'm banging this." So anyway, you can't tell me no different. So she rebuttals, and she says that, well, by him saying that she feels like she said she feels like she does give him support. Like, she points out she went to Jackson. She asked him, if he's working on his paper, if he's doing this, whatever, for like school. And so she was just like, I am showing you support in those different ways. She's like, I feel like I do. I definitely give you support. And so, and then she goes on just to tell him that she also feels like he's not recognizing the ways that she's giving him support, the ways that she is supporting him. So he came back and he was just like, well, basically he started diminishing, like, well, Jackson, that was before the honeymoon and we had just got married. Like, so he's diminishing everything that she said that she's doing to try to support him versus validating her feelings and her efforts in her way that she says she's showing support. So they agree to work on their areas of weaknesses or whatever. So there was pretty much that on that. Then we see Pastor Cal visiting Nicole and Chris. And Chris still has those same little three little strands over there. Then he done brushed the side of his head, y'all. So sorry, I just be noticing that. But anyway, Nicole said part of her head goes to the fact that she did not pick Chris, or that Chris did not pick her. And so I'm just like, okay. She said, yeah, I didn't pick him. The experts did. Honey, Chris picks you every day he wakes up and decides to stay with you. Nicole, you got to get out of your head. So Pastor Cal said, listen, I need you to stop. You can tell he was frustrated. He said he picked you not after, but before, because he told us everything he wanted in a mate. So y'all chose each other. Both of y'all chose each other. Sight unseen. Pastor Cal said, you are self-sabotaging. And that's exactly what I said. She is self-sabotaging. And she is. And so it seems like the closest they get to decision day, I don't know if y'all been noticing this, but the more we are seeing this type of behavior from Nicole, like where she's just self-deprecating and just, he didn't choose me, da 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 da. So anyways, I'm just noticing that more. Like, the more as these episodes come along and it gets closer to decision day. But Chris tells her that he loves her for the first time. She says it back. And so, he pretty much, and I love this because I say I never really see him feel her with affirmations like she does for him. But he tells her that he's blown away by her every day. And I was proud of Chris in that moment. So she all hugs up on him and she holding on for dear life in that point. So all is good with them for the moment. And that was pretty much the end of the episode. So let's get in these comments. Talk about it. What was what, y'all? What was what? Tell me what y'all thought. What stood out? What y'all think about Shaquille? Like, he's acting real sport. Like, y'all think he's sprung on that thing? I think so. And I think he wanted to bring her to Memphis that weekend to show her off. But anyway, that's all I got, y'all. I will holler at y'all next time. I'll pray for y'all. Y'all please pray for me. And what?